Welcome to Pilates class. My name is Bethan, and today I'm going to take you through a beginner's Pilates session that's going to focus on upper body, allowing us to open up through the chest, drop those shoulders down, and really focus on good posture from the waist up. We're going to start by just warming up through the body. Today's session is going to be a 30-minute session, and we're just going to move all the way through the body first. Starting from our lower, we're going to bring our feet all the way in together. We're going to stand up nice and tall, lengthening up through that spine. You're going to turn your toes out really gently. Take those heels to follow so your feet are directly underneath your hips. I'd then like you to bring your hands just to your rib cage, and we're just going to work through our Pilates breath. Seeing as this is a beginner's class, I really want to take you through the breath work first. In Pilates, we breathe down into the ribs, and as we exhale out through the mouth. So let's do it together. Placing hands on ribs, draw those shoulder blades down. Let's take a nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. And let's repeat 3 more. Inhale. The whole time we do this, we keep those shoulders down. Nice big inhales through the nose. Knees are nice and soft. And for the final one, now we're going to take a nice big inhale through the nose. As you exhale that breath out through the mouth, we're going to lift up through that pelvic floor, really squeeze and scoop our stomachs in as we blow out all that air on a nice big exhale out through the mouth. Nice big inhale. And exhale, scooping up, lifting up through that pelvic floor. And release those hands down. Now throughout this whole sequence, we're going to engage with our breath before we move. So that exhale of the breath, that vacuum, we're going to make sure that our core is strong. We've lifted up through that pelvic floor before we move any arms, through our neck, through our knees, any joints. So let's take that together now. Bringing our hands down and forward, we're going to take a nice big inhale. Take the breath down into the ribs rather than up into the chest. Nice big inhale. Exhale, core engaged. Then we move. Let's turn our gaze over our shoulder, just helping the mobility through our neck. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, scooping up, pelvic floor squeeze. And we're going to really take 2 more here, thinking about that breath. Inhale to center. And coming back into our center. We're going to take our chin down now. We're going to drop our chin down as we inhale. As we exhale, scooping up through the core. Coming back up through the vertebrae and gaze forward. Inhale to lower. Exhale to up. And let's take 2 more. Inhale down. And exhale to up. Final one. And we're back into center. Coming into our semicircles now. I want you to turn your gaze over your shoulder. Inhale. Exhale to drop down. Inhale to prepare. And let's take one final one here. Feels really good on that neck. Taking it down and forward as we exhale. And we're going to come back into center. Just thinking about our alignment now, keeping our knees nice and soft. We're going to come into our shoulder rolls. We're now going to inhale as we lift those shoulders up towards the ears and then roll them down and back. Now, if you find it difficult to feel lengthening through the spine, if you have really rolled shoulders or kyphotic shoulders, what I want you to do is just try and imagine you're creating space through the chest and the ribs, not necessarily through the spine, because it can be quite difficult to do. So just opening up through the chest And exhale to draw down. Now, what we don't want to be doing is flaring and opening the chest, arching that lower back. We're going to really keep that neutral spine in place. Nice strong core. Just moving through shoulders here. Inhale to up. Exhale to round. Inhale to up. Exhale, core engaged, squeezing down, trying not to arch through that lower back. Nice strong core here. Inhale to up. Exhale to round. Let's take 2 more. Knees are nice and soft. And final one, nice big rolls of those shoulders and down. We're going to come into a little bit of a bigger movement now, keeping those feet nice and parallel for me. Make sure those toes haven't turned out. Our knees are soft and our pelvis is just in a neutral position. We're going to inhale to reach those fingertips down towards the floor. Feel the pulling in the back of those shoulders. Exhale to lift and reach those fingertips forward, shoulder height. Inhale to release. Really good. Remember what I said? Keeping that focus on engaging first. Engage and lift. Exhale to move. Let's take 3 more here. Inhale, reach down. Exhale to reach up. And 2. And let's take 1 more, final one. Nice big exhale to lift up, draw those shoulder blades down. Let's take an arm out now. We're going to take a nice big inhale. Open that arm out to the side. Exhale, push forward. Inhale, reach it out, opposite arm. Exhale to push. This whole time, I want you to think about drawing those shoulder blades down and back. Don't have those arms up. Don't be rounding through the neck. Really opening up. Shoulder blades draw down. Exhale, engage to push. And let's take it into doubles now. Inhale, open up through chest. Exhale to push and squeeze those arms forward. We're going to stay here for 6. Inhale to open. Exhale to squeeze and push. Now keep this movement going for me. Make sure you've engaged that core before you move those arms. And let's finish these last 4 really thinking about creating some tension through the arms. Really imagine you're really pushing something in. Inhaling to open, working the inside of those arms. Exhale to push. Inhale to open. And final one, we're going to let those arms go down now. Last one to push. Release those arms down. Take a nice big roll of those shoulders. Release off through the tension, but only just for a second. We're going to come into full mobility now. You're going to take a nice big inhale. Reach those fingertips towards the floor. Exhale to lift all the way up for me as much as you can. Thinking about your own mobility here. Lengthening through. Again, try not to arch through that lower back. Keeping your ribcage tucked under. Exhale to draw up. Inhale to lower. And final one here, nice big lengthening up. Taking those shoulder blades down and back as much as you possibly can. Really drawing down. Let's bring our hands into prayer here. Keep those hands up. Drawing your hands together. Gentle press into those wrists. Keeping your hands now down into the chest. Rolling those shoulders up, back and down. Let's come into a little bit of rotation through the spine here. Keeping those hands glued for me. Those shoulders down away from the ears. You're going to take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, we're going to keep those hips facing forward. You're going to gently rotate. Inhaling back to center, really trying to stabilize through those hips here. Opposite direction. Really gentle warm up here through the spine as we rotate. Inhale to center. And coming back in. And release those hands off. Let's come into our pelvic tilts now, bringing our hands down to our hips, keeping those shoulders down. We're going to gently rock our pelvis forward. Now notice I don't take the shoulders or the body with me. My shoulders are down and back, and my chest is proud, and my gaze is into the horizon. We're simply rocking through the pelvis here. Exhale to engage that core. Inhale to release, stretching through the abdominals here. Exhale to rock that pelvis back in. Now, really important that we get this movement through that lumbar spine, releasing off that tension through the lower back. Exhale to come up, keeping those shoulders drawn down, upper body forward. Inhale to rock. Exhale to up. And inhale. Let's take 2 more here. Now for the final 2, I want you to think about really lifting up through that pelvic floor. Squeeze and lift. Really small movement, but really does pack a punch when you do it right. Inhale, come forward, lift up through that pelvic floor, squeezing up. And let's release and relax it off. Inhale, stretch. Exhale to engage. And let's release and relax it off. We're going to come now into our lower joints, into our knees, into our ankles, really thinking about every joint here, warming it up properly. We're going to come into our squat. Let's keep those arms working for us as well. As we inhale now, draw those fingertips down, bring those shoulders away from the ears. We're now going to exhale as we sit into that squat. Arms are just going to come to shoulders here. Now, the main thing I want you to think about is we exhale, lift up through that core, squeeze and blow out that breath as we come back up. Inhale as we lengthen here. Now I'm sitting into those heels. This movement is very slow and intentional. I want you to really think about those rocks that we just did. Rocking that pelvis back, sitting into the heels. Exhale to lift up through that pelvic floor. Squeeze and lengthen as we come back up. Now just bringing your awareness to our alignment. As you may or may not know, we have ABCs in Pilates. A, we really focus on our alignment. So first I want you to think about those knees not knocking in. They're not turning out as we sit low. Our knees are tracking directly over our ankles and directly below our hips. Inhale to lower. And then exhale to draw up, squeeze through. Let's take 2 more here. Exhale to up, drawing up through the core. Finishing every move for me. Really important that you don't just not get to the end of a move. So when you come to stand up nice and tall with your posture, shoulders down and back, gazing into the horizon for me. We're going to take 2 more here, just gently warming up through these joints, up into those heels, standing up nice and tall. Let's take 2 more. Inhale. And final one. And let's take a nice big stretch up towards the ceiling. Draw those shoulder blades down, all the way down our spine. And let's come into our ankles now. I'm going to give you 2 options here. You can move through one or both. We're going to come and sit down into that squat position, making sure you're really grounded here. Feet have equal weight between toes and heels. I want you to lift up onto the balls of your feet. We're going to take our right ankle first and then push that heel down. Our neck is in line with spine here. Try not to gaze up too much. I know obviously you'll be watching this, so just thinking about bringing your chin down towards the floor as we alternate through the heels. Now what I want you to do is imagine you're stepping through thick mud or clay as you push that heel down towards the floor. Slow and controlled. Now exhale to push, keeping those shoulder blades down. We're nearly there. Let's take it for 4, 3, 2 more sets. Should be feeling this on the front of the legs now, warming up a little bit more. Last 2 sets here. If you want to finish into doubles, coming up into doubles, slowly releasing the heel down. Let's take 1 more for good measure. Up onto the balls, controlling the down just as much as you control the up, and release and relax it off. Warm up complete. Let's work into our main phase. We're now going to come down onto the floor. we would usually do our Pilates roll down. We're going to avoid doing that today. If you have particularly rolled shoulders, or if you struggle already being in that flexion position, we're not going to come through there. What we're going to do is you're going to gently bring yourself down onto the mat for me. You can maybe come into a hinge. If we take the arms up, and keeping those shoulder blades down and back, arch in the back, coming down from the hips, reaching towards the floor if you can. I know if hamstrings are tight, this might be a bit of a challenge. Just bringing the neck down in line with spine and then walking those hands out, down into our tabletop position. And we're going to stay here just to open up through the shoulders a little bit more. Main thing I want you to focus on here is keeping those hands underneath the shoulders and keeping those knees underneath the hips. So just take a second. If you've got a mirror, or you can just really start to feel where your knees are. What we don't want to do is reach the arms forward, sitting into those shoulders, and we don't want the knees too far out so that our hips drop. We really do want a nice tabletop position here. Let's set this up properly. First thing I want you to do is draw those shoulder blades down and then gently pick that pelvis up. We're in a nice tabletop position here, feeling nice and strong, putting a little bit of pressure through those wrists as well, working on those wrist strengths. We're going to take a nice big inhale. We're going to draw the shoulder blades down, draw the belly button down towards the floor, and then exhale to engage, squeeze. Inhale to lower. Good, really nice movement here. Exhale to up. And inhale. We're just going to repeat 4 more here. As you're moving for me, let's just talk this through. Our shoulder blades are drawn down. We're really trying to push into the lower back or the lumbar, arching as much as we can, trying to roll those shoulders down and back. Our knees are parallel, our feet aren't together, they're just at our hip distance. And let's take final 2 here. And last one. And finding that tabletop position somewhere gently in between the 2 that we've just been doing. We're going to come into a puppy stretch now, which is a really beautiful one to open up through those shoulders. If you are particularly tight, don't worry. Just go to wherever you feel you can get to. We're going to reach our arms as far forward as we possibly can. Once you feel you've reached as far as you can, glue those hands down. Make sure we keep our bum nice and high. What I want you to do is, rather than round the shoulders and drop the neck down, I want you to take the heart down towards the floor as much as you can, opening up through shoulders, and take that heart down towards the floor. This is a beautiful stretch for those tight shoulders, really trying to open up. And let's take one more breath here. Nice big inhale. And release and relax it off, gently bringing it back up. And we're going to come and drop now our arm underneath our opposite arm. We're going to take it underneath us. See if we can drop that shoulder down, reach that arm forward and come into a really nice rotation. Reaching the fingers forward as much as we can. Really taking it into a nice, gentle twist through the spine. This is a really lovely one as well. Let's take one more breath here. And using that core to engage, let's exhale to lift up. Arms reach forward. Opposite direction now. Opposite arm tucks under. Reaching those fingertips forward. Let's open up through those shoulders. Gentle rotation. Deep breaths, 2 here. And final one. And let's release and relax that off. Well done. Amazing job. We're going to now come down into our lion sequence, which is where we're going to spend here on my face, which is where we're going to now spend the majority of the end of the session. We're going to gently bring ourselves down to lower as much as you can with control. We're going to come into swimmer variations. If you find your shoulders really do feel tight, there are different options we can do. So we'll take option 1 and we'll progress you on only if you feel you want to. As always with any of the Pilates classes we do, you take what you need from the sessions that are good for you. We're going to bring our hands either side of our body. Our forehead is going to lie down on the floor. Now, the first thing I want you to do is think about that alignment again. We're going to draw those shoulder blades down. We're going to make sure our hips are in neutral. We're going to take a nice big inhale here. Exhale to draw those shoulder blades down. Gently push into the hands, rolling those shoulders down and back. Neck in line with spine to open up here. Inhale to lower. Now coming down the same way that you came up with control. Exhale to up, drawing those shoulder blades down. Relax the lower half. Now, you may not be able to come as far up. It's absolutely fine. If you find this is in your lower back, you can just come on to those forearms rather than coming all the way up. Exhale to here, shoulder blades drawn down. Inhale to lower. Or coming up if you do feel like you need that little bit extra. Let's take 3 more here. Inhale to lower. Beautiful. And finishing off our swan prep now, we're going to come into swimmers. Now, swimmers, we can take upper and lower. So we're going to just start gently moving through the upper body first. Forehead goes onto the floor. Arms are nice and wide. We're going to take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, draw those shoulder blades down. Imagine there's a blueberry underneath that belly button. You're just going to pick that belly button up slightly as you lift up. Now, this isn't about getting high or coming up. We're not doing that. Chin doesn't come up. We're really putting pressure on the lower back here. You take your chin down in line with spine, shoulder blades draw down, and it's more of a compression onto those shoulders. We inhale to lower. Really working the muscles of the back here. Inhale to lower. Let's take 2 more. And release and relax it down. You're going to bring your hands underneath your forehead now. Relax the upper body down. Taking a nice big inhale. Lengthen the legs out. We're now going to squeeze and try and lift our quads up off the floor. Just finding a nice comfortable position. Inhale to prepare. Shoulder blades draw down. Exhale. Let's lift the lower legs now. Inhale to lower. Exhale to up. Now with this one, we're not trying to get high. We're trying to lengthen those legs out. Draw up through the pelvic floor and lift up through that belly button for me. Inhale to lower. Inhale, let's take 2 more. Relaxing those shoulders. Trying not to lift the upper body just yet. Relax it down, just working on that lower spine. And release and relax it off. Now, if you feel you want to, we can come into doubles. Taking it together now. Nice big inhale. Now, what I want you to focus on, as I said at the beginning, is really making sure that you're engaged before you lift. We're not just lifting up and down. This is controlled. Core is engaged. Last two, we're going to come into swimmers. Hold it up on the next one for me. Good. Now, if you feel comfortable, you can take those arms down, draw those shoulder blades down. Let's kick those legs. Keep your breath going. And one last final breath. And let's release and relax it down. Well done, beautiful work. Bring your hands to your chest. Let's bring it back into child's pose for me. Release off that lower back. Lots of hyperextensions there. Just stretching down as much as we can. Release it off. One more breath here for me. And release and relax it off. We're going to bring ourselves now into a seated position. Just bringing yourself around. If cross-legged isn't available to you, please don't worry. If you've got super tight hips, you can sit in any way that feels good for you. But what I don't want you to do is stick that lower back out for me. We really want to sit up nice and tall, coming into cross-leg if you can. We're going to now just cool down, stretch it out a little bit of static stretching. Nice big inhale for me. Creating space between the ribs, between the chest. If you can't feel like you're lengthening up through the spine, really trying to draw those shoulders down for me. Taking your hand onto your opposite knee. Let's just take a gentle rotation here, opening up. And back into center. We're going to just now see if we can rock our pelvis forward, draw our belly button towards our spine here. Coming forward, chin to chest. And then exhale to up. Really thinking about pulling those shoulder blades down for me. Try not to be up here, shoulders down. Let's take one more, belly button down, chin towards chest. And let's take one more. Crossing your arm over your chest, tucking the elbow underneath. Let's take a gentle rock side to side here. If you can wrap that around, pull the shoulder blades down. And release and relax it off. Let's come into the opposite side. Arm across, tuck that elbow underneath. Nice big inhale. You can take a gentle rock if you feel called to. See if you can wrap it around. Draw those shoulder blades down. And let's release and relax it off. As we do with every end of Pilates class, we turn our palms open. We sit up nice and tall, and we're going to finish on 3 large inhale, exhales in through the nose, out through the mouth. And we're going to make sure we really exhale, leave everything on the mat for today. Nice big inhale. Two more, really make them count. Final one. And welcome to the end of Pilates class. Thank you for joining me on the mat today, and I hope to see you next time.